Welcome to NNN News. I'm your host, Chris Tysis, and yes, we're back from a little holiday from doing GammaCon, which has been really, really good, and a bit of a holiday on doing bits and pieces and life stuff coming up and all that sort of stuff. And I know that the camera is looking a little bit funny. The main camera has been mucking up a bit. It is 4 years old, so I might have to do a little fix up on that. And we've got red headphones, so yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's the same ones as before, and they just magically change color overnight. So this is a bit of a NNN show life update on how things are, and we know that 2019's been a bit up and down for the channel and myself, and I've been working on getting things for the household and things like that, and working towards getting the channel better and also improving on the new Facebook page, Nintendo Ninja Gaming, which has been doing pretty well actually for followers. We have reached 126, which is pretty good growth for that little, streaming type page. And at the moment, looking at the middle of August, I said last time that I was trying to get my super fund and getting some items back and sort of rejiggling my life a bit. Um, that date is coming closer and closer and closer. So in the next couple weeks, I'll be able to get that. So 2 to 3 weeks to get that all done, and then I can start streaming. So I think that timeline is now probably the beginning of September. I'm not going to put definite dates, but I would say the first week of September. The first of the seventh is when I can start doing streams and playing on the Switch, and you'll be able to see me play, Mario Kart, Splatoon, and Smash Brothers, all those type of games, and all the over 100 games that I can play on the Switch console, which is really, really good. And also too that we'll have the Super Nintendo Classic Mini and all the other retro games that I was sort of throwing on there too. So that's potentially 200 games to choose from, which is fantastic. So that's been really, really good to see. And in the last week or so, I've got myself a new microwave and toaster, which is nice, and that's all been part of rebuilding this place and getting some nice things so I can eat better and all that sort of stuff, and putting together the nice kitchen. So there's been a few good things that's been happening for the channel, which has been great. So I've been looking forward to getting these items and doing these things for so many months, and it's been great to finally get to a point where we're this close to getting everything put back together again, which is fantastic. So I can do Switch reviews again, which I've knocked back quite a few review codes, which is a bit sad. But I feel like things are starting to come back together again. Just the household is looking a lot nicer now, and we've got little things like I've got a brand new mop. It's not particularly great mop, but just a couple new tables and the balconies. And we're trying to work out what to do with that. But it's been a really interesting time to see how things are coming back together. So I've been really happy about it. I've been really pleased about how things like that has been going on. So from the Nintendo Ninja News side, there has been less videos this year, but I don't think it's been too bad. The channel's been holding up pretty damn well. Still getting views from old videos, and people still supporting the channel, watching that sort of stuff. The GammaCon video did pretty well. It got a lot of watch time. It's up to 70 views, which is pretty average for that type of video. It's an hour and a half long, so you're not going to get too many clicks on that type of thing. But it's good to see that people enjoyed it overall and sort of worked out. And even looking back on the movie, watching it with people on the live stream, on the YouTube premiere, the sort of feature that they have, I've looked at ways of trying to improve for next year. Little more editing here and there that I might have missed out on, but I think that's fine. I think it's fine. So I think the timeline is now what we'll do with the streaming stuff. on Facebook is we'll probably stream a bit more Fortnite, but I'm thinking of trying to do No Man's Sky, which could be a little difficult. It does require a bit of grunt power from my laptop, but I might do a bit of a Skyrim playthrough. That would be fun to play. I know the game back to front. It's an 8-year-old game, and plus I can add some mods to it to make it a little more interesting for people to watch, and I can play and interact with the chat room a lot more. Where games like Fortnite and games that really require your attention, um, it's a little hard to look at the chat box and do things like that. So it's a little more difficult to work out things like that. So it's going to be an interesting time to look at all that sort of stuff. So that's what the streaming stuff will be for the time being for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then once I can do the real streaming stuff via the Elgato card and via the Switch, we'll be able to get things together again from that point of view, and start streaming Mario Kart, Splatoon, all the multiplayer games that people know and love, and that would be absolutely fine, I think, for people. And I'll be able to review games when I can. I'll probably you probably see a few reviews come up, probably about 3 or 4 in the first couple weeks, and try to knock them out a bit more quicker. And we'll see how that goes. And the reviews will have gameplay footage to it because I know people like to see the gameplay footage as well. So that will be the sort of type of streaming. And from the first week of September, fingers crossed that everything works out from that point of view, because that could be a little bit. I don't think there'll be any delays to the super fund or anything financial. It's just, you know, anything can happen in my life at times where delays may happen, but I don't think a delay will happen this time. I think I've worked out everything from that point of view. So I think things are going well at the moment. Things are starting to come together, household wise and life wise, and hopefully things will keep improving. I think this year was always going to be a rebuilding year in terms of getting items for the household and sort of rebuilding the channel. I think it was good that we're doing streaming stuff on Facebook, and we've got the little local Canberra, the Canberra Nintendo Ninja club group, which has been going well. It's only got about 80 members in it, but it's a pretty close knit group. People seem to be wanting to help out and do things, and I think they're eager for that first real life event. So we'll work on things like that later on. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully everything works out. But I would say, looking at the timeline, probably 3 weeks would be the max in terms of waiting for you know uh, more streaming and more videos on the channel and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be doing a couple more videos over the next day or two. A few other Nintendo topics has popped up while I was away. Some which are interesting, and some I don't care much about, but you'll find out later on. So I think that's all I've got to talk about on life as it is. But it will be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.